Hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Stories of Great Christians. We are continuing in the story of William Borden. We're on chapter 6 now, about a quarter of the way through. So take a listen, and make sure that you got your friend there with you. Make sure you both hit subscribe, and sit back and enjoy. It's from Moody Bible Institute. This is chapter 6.
There, I've done it. It? I've written my parents telling them of my decision.
Bill, now don't get me wrong. I think that wanting to be a missionary is a good thing, but are you sure that God is really calling you to this? I mean, it isn't just the novelty of being here in another country, seeing what other people think for the first time.
I've tried to consider all of that, Walt. I really have.
It's so easy to be impressed or emotionally energized by some situation or statistics, and not really called of God.
I'm sure God is calling me to work as a missionary, Walt. As sure as I've ever been about anything. In fact, I'm beginning to see why God put it into my father's mind to send us around the world. This trip is going to get more interesting as we go, Walt. It's going to give me a real chance to wake up and see others in need of Christ. It has already.
Well, I don't want to discourage you. Let's start paying special attention to what people believe in the countries we visit. If you really end up as a missionary, this will be something you'll need to know.
We greet our friends everywhere with Chapter 6 of This One Thing I Do, the story of William Borden. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians. It comes to you from the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. In the year 1904, as a recent high school graduate, William Borden's father sent him on a trip around the world.
Well, how do you like China, Mr. Borden?
I'm amazed at the change it is from Japan. Back in the States, I could never even tell the difference between Chinese and Japanese people. Guess I'd never really looked. But the countries are as different as night and day, and so are the people.
Yes, they are.
Still can't see how these Chinese coolies manage their wheelbarrows. They're so different from the rickshaws, only one wheel.
You should see them when they contain only 2 or 3 people. It's almost an impossibility to keep them balanced.
See them. We were in one in Hong Kong. I finally moved across to the other side for balance.
We were afraid we'd fall out.
Well, you won't find too many of those wheelbarrows here in Nanking. We all do quite nicely walking. Speaking of walking, that's what my wife and daughter are doing at the moment. You see, we didn't expect you to arrive so soon. They've gone into Nanking to purchase a few things for tonight's supper.
I hope you haven't gone to any trouble.
Trouble?
I mean for supper.
Oh, the walk to town. I see you haven't counted the number of ice boxes you've seen in China.
Come to think of it, I haven't seen one.
And I seriously doubt whether you will. We shop for our food here daily, and even then there's an occasional question as to whether it's really fresh.
Certainly easy to take for granted all the luxury we have at home.
I'm sure.
But, Mr. Stewart, what about over at the college? I mean, don't you house students there?
That's right.
Well, what system do you have for feeding them?
Well, the cooks from the American Methodist College must walk into Nanking each day the same as any other artisan to do the shopping.
Someone's coming.
Oh, here they are, my wife and daughter.
I see our guests are here.
Yes, dear. They arrived about half an hour ago.
I'm so glad you made the trip safely up the Yangtze. I'm Mrs. Stewart, and this is my daughter, Patricia. How do you do?
How do you do?
If I'm not mistaken, you and Tad are about the same age, Mr. Borden. You're about 16, aren't you?
17, sir.
How nice. Pat doesn't see many Americans here her own age. While you're with us, we'll have to get to know each other.
I think that's the first good night's sleep I've had since we arrived in China.
I'm glad. What's on the agenda today?
And Mr. Stewart was going to show me around the college.
What about William?
I think he's gone already.
Oh?
He said something about your daughter, Pat, showing him the old Ming tombs back in the valley.
These tombs contain bodies of many of the emperors who were in the Ming dynasty. They ruled China for almost 600 years.
But why are they here?
Well, Nanking was one of the capitals of China during the Ming reign, and Peking was another.
Are there some more tombs in Peking?
I don't know. There might be.
I thought the Mings were known for Ming Chinaware.
That's true, they are. That was supposed to be the highest artistic achievement in the Ming dynasty.
What happened that the Mings aren't still in charge?
Are you really interested in all this Chinese history?
Enough.
I don't know what to make of you, Mr. Borden.
My name is Bill, and I really am interested in knowing why the Mings aren't still ruling in China.
Well, my name is Pat. And the reason they aren't is because they started taxing the people too much, and there was a revolt, and the Manchu conquest took place.
All right. I believe that you know your Chinese history.
I ought to. I sure have to study hard enough.
I know what that's like. And I'm so glad I met you.
You keep saying the funniest things.
Well, I'm serious. So far, Walt and I have traveled through Hawaii, Japan, and a good bit of China, and you're the first girl I've really met. Nobody young travels. I almost feel like we're breaking a rule or something.
Well, there aren't too many young people who can afford to travel, Bill. I know our family wouldn't be out here without the support of the mission board.
I suppose that's true.
How do you like all this traveling, seeing all the different places?
Oh, it's interesting, all right. I mean, the scenery and such. And we've seen some, well, breathtaking sights, like Mount Fujiyama in Japan. But
what?
it's hard to put into words. Ever since we started seeing how other people live, what they did, how they believe, it's all so new. It really makes you think.
Let's sit down over there.
All right.
I like to come here to think.
I can see why. So still.
The big river off in that direction, the hills all around. These old tombs going back so many years.
You aren't becoming an ancestor worshiper, are you?
No, nothing like that. I just find it easier to think here. Bill,
Uh-huh.
do you ever wonder about it?
About what?
About the way we believe.
What do you mean, Pat?
Like the things you think about. It's hard to put into words, but sometimes I see these Chinese boys coming to my father's school and being taught all the things we were taught to know. And many of them are converted to Christianity because of the work at the college.
Well, I thought that was one of the purposes of the college.
It is.
Well, I don't understand what you're getting at.
Just this. You and I are Christians because we've grown up among Christian people. We've been taught Christian ways. But the people around here aren't. They wouldn't even think of it if men like my father weren't here to teach them. Some of them don't accept it anyway.
So?
Well, how do we know we're right, Bill? Yeah, I said it. I have never been able to say that to a soul. Not ever since it started bothering me. How do we know we're right, Bill?
I haven't had enough training to know any of the deeper arguments about this. I plan to study them, but I don't know them yet. All I know is that by following what the Bible said, I found God. I know that what the Bible says about sin and the way Jesus was killed to take care of it, that makes good sense. And already in praying, I've really talked with God. Haven't you?
Yes. But that's not what's bothering me. How do we know that our way is the only way?
Well, I'd say that we know it because we've experienced it. And because Jesus claimed to be the only way. Pat, look at what we believe. Don't we believe the fact that no one is perfect? That no one is eligible for heaven?
Yeah, that's right.
Well then, if Jesus had never come, where would we all be headed for?
What we deserve, I guess. Hell.
And we wouldn't be going there just because we didn't believe the Christian message, would we?
Oh. I see. A man doesn't go to his punishment because he doesn't believe in Christianity. He goes because he's broken God's law. And therefore, he deserves to go to hell.
At least, that's the way it seems to me. And right in the first part of the book of Romans, St. Paul makes it pretty clear that the knowledge of God is wide open to anyone who will see. So, you see, Jesus claimed to be the only way. And I think we can feel pretty safe accepting his word. I mean, he is God's Son.
Now, I'll have to think about that a lot more, Dad. You know, for somebody who says he doesn't know much, you sure have a lot of good answers.
No, I didn't think of half that. Walt and I have been having Bible study all along on this trip. He's a seminary graduate, so he's pretty keen on it all.
You must be. You're pretty keen yourself.
Look at us. We came all the way back here in the Yangtze Valley to see these Ming tombs, and we haven't even looked at one. Here, come on. There aren't too many hours of daylight left.
I think I see them coming up the road.
Well, it's about time.
They seem to be laughing about something. I haven't seen Pat looking so happy for a long time.
Probably good for her to be around some of her own age and from her own country.
I don't think it's hurt Bill any either. He's mentioned a number of times how surprising it is that more young people don't travel abroad.
Well, I'm glad you decided
Oh, dear.
to. What's the matter?
I don't really know. It looked for a minute as though William ship coming up the road. Pat laughed at first, but he isn't getting up.
That doesn't sound like the kind of joke Bill would play.
I think you men ought to run down there and see what's happened. Pat looks like she's crying.
Oh, Father, he just suddenly fell down.
We saw it from the house, dear. Now, don't be frightened. Let's take a look.
He's lying so still.
His forehead is terribly hot. He has a good-sized fever, if you ask me.
Can we move him?
You'll have to. Here, give me a hand, will you?
That's all right, sir. I think I can cradle him a little easier.
Do be careful.
Keep out of the way, Pat.
I hope he's all right.
So do I. So do I.
And so we conclude Chapter 6 of This One Thing I Do, the story of William Borden. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and comes to you from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.
so sometimes things go swimmingly well, and sometimes there's a little wrinkle put into things. Well, to find out what happens afterward, let's stay tuned for Chapter 7. And I hope most of you join us tomorrow to hear just that. Till then, God bless, have a wonderful day, and grow in grace.